Hey, what up guys, how you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to my first video here on some FIFA 18 Ultimate Team potential player ratings. We're going to start with the Premier League today, and I've got a whole bunch of players from different clubs, different ages, different positions and all sorts from this league that we're going to talk about in terms of their old FIFA 17 rating and how that's going to differ for FIFA 18 Ultimate Team. If you guys would be as kind as to hit that like button today, that would be amazing. Let's try and get over 1,000 likes on this video, that would be great. Also, leave a comment after you've seen which players we've covered today on other players from the Premier League or different leagues if you want. Who should I cover for a different video? And then if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button and turn the notifications bell on so you never miss an upload on my channel. So the first player in today's video is this English centre-back from Arsenal, Rob Holding, who, let's face it, definitely is in order for an upgrade in FIFA 18. A very popular suggestion amongst the Twitter community when people are asking for potential player ratings. People want to know what Rob Holding is going to be in FIFA 18. That's why we've covered him first here today. I think that what EA will do is give him a huge upgrade to an entry-level gold item on FUT 18. Now, of course, it goes without saying that the graphics and stuff in this video are just made by me. They're all potential predictions. None of these are facts. This is just what I think is going to happen. And I have decided to put stats on the card today. It's something that maybe I wouldn't have done because obviously it causes a lot of controversy and stuff in the comments. But I think the cards look better when you've got some potential stats on there. Of course, they could be drastically different when the game actually comes out. Another thing I've decided to do is, obviously everyone's going to show you what the gold item will look like, what the upgrade item will look like. I've also given you what a potential inform would look like for the first inform for this type of player if he was to have a great game and deserve one on FUT 18. As you can see with Rob Holding, we've given him that +5. What EA did last year for any of these lower rated gold items is boost them quite significantly in their first inform, and then once a player gets to around sort of the 84 mark, they start going up by around +1 in terms of informs. But if he does have a good game and deserve it and is deserved of an inform, he could go up by around +5 for the first time. I've also just given an idea, a rough guesstimate, I guess you could say, of what I would predict these types of cards would be worth roughly at the start of their existence. So at the start of the game, you know, a 75 rated gold Arsenal centre-back could be worth a couple of thousand coins to you, and obviously that will probably come down in price as the year goes on. And then at the start, I reckon a lower rated inform like Rob Holding here could be worth around 50k. Obviously he's got a great nation and club behind him, so he's very usable in a lot of Premier League sides. The second player in today's video then is actually another centre-back. Don't worry, we'll move away from the defenders in just a moment. But today we have got Michael Keane, the Englishman who of course made his big money move from Burnley to Everton. I think after a solid season in the Premier League last year and that big money move, of course, I think EA will boost this card quite a lot to around the 80-81 mark in game, which would actually be a very usable defender if he got some decent stat upgrades as well. Probably a more sought after defender than the likes of Rob Holding at the start of the game due to that higher rating and probably slightly better defensive stats. I reckon this sort of card could go for around 5k at the start of the game, and then if he was to get himself an inform, I believe he'd be boosted around to that sort of 84 mark and be worth quite a bit with some really solid defensive stats. I actually quite like Michael Keane. I hope he has a very successful first season at Everton and another solid season in the Premier League next year. So we've had our two lower rated centre-backs, and it's time to move on to like the third and final one for the video. We of course have got David Luiz, the Brazilian centre-back, plays for Chelsea, who of course won the league last season, and he was a fantastic defender during that year. I've decided to go with just a +1 overall to an 85. I think that he was already quite a high rating last year, so I feel like 85 would be correct for David Luiz, you know, one of the top defenders in the league, and for that you're going to get one extremely, I don't know if overpowered is the right word, but very usable player on the game, no doubt about it. You know, he's got that afro power, hasn't he? You know, he's going to have good pace, good dribbling for a centre-back anyway, and then solid defending and physical. Always a very aggressive defender on the game. Probably will run you somewhere in the order of like 50,000 coins, and then if he was to get that inform, his stats are going to look outrageous, and he's going to cost you a lot of bucks, just because obviously people in the Premier League are looking for the most overpowered players all of the time. So very excited there for the potential upgrade of David Luiz on FIFA 18. From one Chelsea player to another then, let's talk about one of their new signings. It is of course Bakayoko. Another big money signing then. We're talking 35+ million pounds for the Frenchman. He comes in after a great season at Monaco last year, and I think that tied alongside the big money move is going to get him that rating upgrade in FIFA 18. In terms of transfer fee, I feel like Chelsea have done some good business here, selling Matic for that price and bringing in Bakayoko for about the same thing. A younger player with a much higher ceiling of potential. He could be a great midfielder for the years to come for the club. I reckon we're going to be seeing around an 81 rated Bakayoko at the start of FUT 18, and I reckon he'll probably also have one of these new ones to watch cards as well. And as you can see, instead of his potential first inform, I've given him the stats of a first inform on his ones to watch item, which of course, as you guys know by now, if you were to pick up the ones to watch at the start of the game, it would be the exact same rating as what his default gold card would be, and then would increase over time if he was to pick up informs throughout the game. So if you can get one, and if he does have a good season, pick him up cheap, and then you'll be laughing throughout the year as you can watch your inform just boost and boost and boost. It'll be pretty good. Hopefully he has a good season, and of course he will be that perfect link to the likes of Kurt Zuma and N'Golo Kante. Moving on, we've got another transfer making his way into the Premier League. It is the Portuguese national who's playing for Manchester City, of course, Bernardo Silva. After a very impressive season for Monaco last year and around a £45 million move from the French club to the Premier League, I think we're going to be looking at around an 84, possibly even an 85 rated Bernardo Silva in FUT 18. Of course, another item that could potentially have one of these ones to watch, and if he was to get his first inform, he would probably be around that 86 rating. We're starting to get some really decent and usable stats on the game, such as like 89 dribbling, very good pace and passing stats as well. You're looking at a 4-star skiller out on the right hand side here, with his first original gold card probably costing you somewhere in that 20k margin, and then if he was to get himself an inform, I reckon somewhere between 120 to 150k. Now moving on to one of the biggest money moves in today's video, it is of course Alvaro Morata. The Spaniard has signed for Chelsea from Real Madrid. For me, a slightly more difficult one to rate and predict, because, you know, I don't watch a huge amount of Spanish football, I have to admit, and of course Morata doesn't get the most amount of game time for Real Madrid, so I reckon we'll probably see a +1 overall to an 83 overall, just to show potential for the future and stuff like that. Stats would be pretty good on this player, and I reckon he wouldn't be one of the more expensive strikers in the league, probably costing you only around 10 to 15k at the start of the game. We probably also will see a ones to watch item for the Spaniard. Of course, he had one last year for Real Madrid as well. That got boosted only once last year. Let's hope the Chelsea one would get boosted a little bit more than that. And of course, his first potential inform or ones to watch upgrade could be looking around that sort of 85 mark, with a nice dynamic image and decent pace, shooting and dribbling stats on the game. Probably only looking at a 3-star skiller, but someone with a 4-star weak foot can still be very deadly as a striker. I think Morata will be featured quite a lot in a lot of sort of starter Premier League sides next year. Next up then, we have a very popular left-sided player from FIFA 17. It is of course Heung-min Son. Now, although Son doesn't get a start every game for Tottenham, he definitely had a great season last year, amassing 2 Player of the Month awards from the Premier League, and I think we're going to see a +3 overall upgrade to an 82. Now, some people would probably say that that's underrating him. Don't forget that his 79 was also an upgrade in FIFA 17. I think we'll see an 82. Hopefully he'll do the same sort of thing next year, progress even further and stuff. But I think something like an 83 or an 84 would probably be a little bit too high for this player. I think 82 is the correct prediction for FIFA 18, and he's also the sort of player that's likely to get a position change in form, so we could be looking at the first in form for some being like an 85 rated striker, and that would definitely set you back a few 100,000 coins. Next up then, we have yet another very popular left-sided Premier League player from FIFA 17. It is Anthony Martial. Rated 82 on FUT 17. I think we'll probably see the same rating again in FIFA 18. Of course, a little bit like the previous couple of players, definitely doesn't get as much game time as he should at Man United. I think what they've got here is an incredible young prospect, and to not give him all the games in the world is a little bit crazy to me. Hopefully they're not completely wasting that prospect. So I reckon we'll see an 82 rated Martial in FIFA 18. Potentially maybe gets a little downgrade to an 81 overall, but still going to be one of the more popular players on FIFA 18 for sure, costing you around 30k at the start of the game if his card is similar to last season's. And then a little bit like Heung-min Son, he's got the potential to get that striker in form every now and again. If so, we're looking at like an 85 rated striker Martial, which of course people are going to pay big bucks for. Again, 4-star skills and weak foot for the Frenchman. I'd love to see how good he's going to be in FIFA 18. I wonder if he's going to be just as overpowered as he was last year, because FIFA 17, man, he's one of the most usable players on the game. So we've got another young talent coming in now. It is, of course, Gabriel Jesus. Got his first FIFA Ultimate Team card on FIFA 17. Of course, we've got this 78 rated, so a low rated gold striker for Manchester City. His stats were alright, and he got a few decent cards along the way in FIFA 17, including, of course, that recent FUTWIZ winner item. But I reckon we're going to see quite a nice upgrade for the Brazilian in FIFA 18. Even though injury and stuff happened last year and he didn't get a whole lot of game time, when he did play, he scored goals. So I think we're probably going to look at maybe an 81, 82 rated Gabriel Jesus for FIFA 18 Ultimate Team, which would be very popular on the game. A lot of people are going to want to use a 5-star skiller in the Premier League, a Brazilian player as well. Lots of flair and stuff there. We're talking decent pace and dribbling, and then usable shooting as well. Probably going to cost you 40 to 50k at the start of the game, even though he's not the highest of ratings, just because of that 5-star skills and the popularity of the player. And then when he goes and gets himself an inform, you're probably looking at somewhere from 150 to 200k, depending on how good the stats look. So potential there for a great Premier League striker at the start of FIFA 18. If you can afford him and he goes into your starter squad, you're going to be laughing. Or you're going to be laughing if you pack him at the start of the game, that's for sure. So moving on to what is one of my favourite Premier League players, it is of course Sadio Mane. The winger plays for Liverpool and had some very, very good games last season and played with a little bit of injury as well, which was slightly unfortunate. However, I think what we're going to see is a nice big upgrade and a position change for Mane in FIFA 18, simply because if you think about the signing that they've made in Salah, I think that Mane's going to be a left-sided player, Salah will be on the right, with Firmino up top, and then moving Coutinho back into the centre of midfield. I think we'll, if they're seeing it correctly on how Liverpool will play next year, I think we'll get a left-sided Sadio Mane, and I think he's got potential to be an 84 at least, and maybe even an 85 rated player on the game. And if so, he's going to be definitely one of the more expensive and popular wingers in the Prem, because he's not going to be the crazy prices of an Eden Hazard, but he will be a very quick and very good dribbler of the ball with some decent physical about him as well. Now, of course, an 85 rated Mane, if he was to get an inform, at that stage, they only go up by +1. So we'd look at like an 86 rated version with very, very good stats. I think he'd become extremely usable with his first inform, and lots of people would pay lots of coins to get their hands on him. 4-star skill moves and only a 3-star weak foot, although I'm pretty sure he did score a couple of goals in pre-season on that left foot, so who knows, maybe they'll up that to 4. If so, he becomes a lot more usable on the left-hand side. I hope we get this card on FIFA 18. So from one Liverpool player to another then, we've got another one of the top performers and one of the most interesting players in the league. It is Coutinho, of course. Now, I think we're probably going to see a position change. I hope we get the position change. I really do hope that we get to see a central version of Coutinho, because a lot of people are going to want to use him in their cam position if that is the case. And with his pace not being like 90 plus or whatever, he's a little bit less usable out on the wing. Even, he's still usable, right? But I think an 87 rated, so a +1 overall to Coutinho in the centre of midfield or even a cam position position, but I think they'd probably come out of packs in a CM, would be unbelievable in the game. Definitely a great player with a lot of talent, and I think he's deserving of that +1 overall, right? This guy scores free kicks and long shots. It's so easy for him. Definitely one of the most interesting players in the league. I reckon we'll see either that stick at the 86 but have the position change, or maybe even the +1 and the position change. That would be great. But when he gets his first inform, if it's central as well, the stats are going to be next level and the price is going to be that as well. I think a lot of people, again, would pay a lot of coinage for like an 88 rated central attacking midfielder Coutinho. That would be great. Very, very usable on the game with incredible dribbling. I look forward to this player on FIFA 18. So just 2 players left then, and we now have what is definitely one of my favourite players in the league. It is, of course, Dele Alli. The Englishman has had a couple of good seasons in a row now, and I think it's really time that he started getting that rating that he deserves. I've boosted him by +3 from his FIFA 17 upgrade to an 85 overall rated player on FIFA 18 from the start. I genuinely think he's that good in the Prem. I've given him a +1 in terms of skill moves as well. I think he's great on the ball. I don't know why he hasn't got 4-star skills, and I think the stats will look a little bit like what I've put on his card right there. Pretty solid across the board. Nothing completely and utterly stand out. Maybe his dribbling and shooting would be a tiny bit higher, I guess you could say, if he was an 85 overall. But just generally one of the most solid and usable players in the midfield. If he does get a skill move upgrade, he becomes one of the more expensive ones as well. I reckon you're likely to pay between 40 and 60k for a decent rated Dele Alli at the start of FIFA 18. And then, well, he's been known to get some informs and special cards on the game. He had a Player of the Month, he had a Young Player of the Year, and also informs and special cards as well. We're looking at the 86 rated first inform for Dele Alli, and you know if you pack him, he's going to come out doing the Dele wave, don't you? If you haven't seen it already, EA obviously worked with Dele Alli. He's an ambassador for FUT, so for him to walk out of packs and do his Dele Alli wave, that would be awesome. I'd absolutely love to see that. I'd love to pack an inform version of Dele Alli just so we can get the wave. Another one of the players that I'm most excited for FUT 18. And then, of course, we move on to the final player, which is another massive transfer from the same league, from Everton to Manchester United. Of course, the Belgian Romelu Lukaku signed for a huge fee. Now, I think with that huge fee and the fact that he scored 20+ goals in the Premier League last year, he is deserved of an upgrade. I've gone for a +2 to an 86 overall. I guess some people might say 85, some people might say 87. But I think 86 is the correct rating to start the game off for the Belgian. And in terms of stats, he's not going to be the best on the ball. You know, his dribbling's not as great as some of the other strikers in the league. However, he's a big, beastly striker, and his pace will be good. His shooting will be very impressive, and he'll have a lot of physical as well. Definitely deserved of at least a 4-star weak foot, scoring goals on his right foot last year, of course, as well as that very powerful left peg. Going to be good in the air on FIFA as well, and I reckon he'll get, well, I think EA have confirmed that he's going to get a ones to watch item at the start of the game. So if you pick that one up and he has another season like last year for Everton, where he scores goals and goals and goals, you're likely to get some serious ratings, rating boosts on that ones to watch item throughout the year in FIFA 18. So there we have it, guys. That is my first video on potential player ratings for FUT 18. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I've literally chosen random players from random clubs, different positions and all of that sort of stuff. Some big money transfers, some players that have just stayed at the same club for years. I've tried to put a little bit of everything in today's video. I've got another Premier League one ready to go as well, but I've definitely got some space left for other players for you guys to include. So make sure you leave your comments down below as to players that I should definitely cover in a next episode. And then, of course, I will switch up the leagues, go to like the La Liga, the French Liga, and the Bundesliga, and the Serie A as well. So cover some of the main leagues, some of the bigger players there, and let's talk about some upgrades and downgrades and all sorts of stuff that we've got to come in the next installment of FIFA. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button on today's video. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn that notifications bell on and be a part of the notification squad. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.